Hello, welcome to the Mediocre Moms podcast. I'm Lisa.
And I'm Kait.
And we are your mediocre moms. We're here to be your girlfriends and just talk about anything and everything. But warning, this podcast is not for little ears, so please pop in those headphones or hit pause because we either are going to get raunchy or some dirty words are going to start flying.
Yeah. This is not like a parenting advice podcast. This is like talking with your girlfriends. And you don't, you hopefully you talk to your girlfriends like adults, not like children. So that's what this is going to be.
I never know.
I think it can be really hard to switch back and forth.
Yeah.
But actually, we're going to do a little advice today. Disclaimer, we're not parenting experts. We're going to answer questions from our users today. Or not users. Questions from our listeners today. Tell my business. Okay. Okay, let me get one here. First one, really nice. Hey, Lisa and Kait, just wanted to say I look forward to your episodes every month. It's like a little dose of sanity in my chaotic mom life. My question is about how motherhood has changed me. I used to have hobbies and interests outside of my family. I love to read and go to some concerts, even just browse like a bookstore. Now, any spare second I have feels like it needs to be spent catching up on chores or just collapsing on the couch. I feel like I'm losing touch with the me I was before I had kids, and it's starting to bum me out. So my question is, have you struggled feeling the same? Have you lost some of your individual identity since becoming moms? And if so, what are some ways that you've tried to, to deal with that and mitigate it? She says she misses her book collection. I definitely have felt this. I think this feeling is why so many moms start businesses and things, because they kind of just want something that's theirs again.
Yeah.
They feel having a small business, I think really, maybe it's related to a hobby you had that you're getting back the hobby too, and you're justifying it now, I can't just spend time knitting, but I can if it's gonna make money that helps my family. Now you can justify knitting again. Knitting is not business I definitely strictly recommend. I think crafts are really, really hard to be profitable in. We feel like if it's not for our kids, then we can't possibly spend time doing it. Anything for yourself just feels selfish.
It does. One of the things I learned to do was give myself permission to couch rot. Give myself when it comes to cleaning, there are times I'm like, I'm going to do this for, depending on how much time I know time budgeted I know I have, I'm going to give myself 15, 20, 30 an hour to do this. And once the timer is up, it's up, because I will set a timer on my phone to go on. And I'm like, if it doesn't get done, it doesn't get done. And I heard this quote about some things, it's okay if it takes, if it takes you a couple days. If you're trying to do a big cleaning project, well, it didn't get like this in a day, and it's not going to get fixed in a day. It's okay if it takes you. And so I give myself permission, and that's what I have to do.
Yeah, I can really relate to that aspect of your identity and losing your identity to the mom identity. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of work on my messaging and things for my business. Yeah. And everyone's like, who's your target? And I'm like, well, it'd be someone like me. And they're like, great, target moms. That's such a great, target moms. And I'm like, no, part of the language, fuck no. Yeah. There is honestly a person like this, a person like me. Yeah. The last fucking thing that makes me go, oh yeah, that's me, is when something is for moms. Yeah. Moms, okay, half the people on the planet are women. Most of us will have a kid. Yeah. Okay, don't say I'm this because I'm a mom. That just gets so under my skin. Yeah. And I think that's part of the same thing. It's don't strip away all my identity as a person. Yeah. And just replace it with the identity of mom. Yeah. Mom isn't an identity.
It is, because you are.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm also
times.
Yeah, I'm a woman and I'm 39, but that's not such a big. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and I think it's hard to say because I
know I just found a Post-it on my lap. I don't know.
Is it an important reminder?
No, it's a website that I have to use for real estate. Sometimes it's it's, I don't want to explain what it is right now.
No.
But I don't know how I got there.
I have a little Post-it wall here on my desk of ongoing projects, and then and some other things when they're there, and then when I finish them I have to get rid of the Post-it. But since I started doing this, I had 3 business things that were kind of ongoing a couple personal things. I was moving at the time, like ongoing, and a couple like bullshit things that like I'm like, this is like the least favorite part of my life, like fighting people who owe me money.
Yeah.
Like I was fighting Priceline forever. I've told that story. And like things like I have this check, I have a check from Italy. I live in Switzerland and I literally cannot get it cashed. That's on there. That's been up there for months. And like these like ongoing things, like, but then I keep adding more, and now I'm like becoming my dad, just like surrounded. My desk is becoming like all post-its. The only nice thing is I use like these clear post-its.
Yeah.
So like it's not like all like yellow stickies. It looks kind of almost just like my desk furniture is like a whiteboard or something.
Like you chose to just write all over your furniture.
Yeah, looks like it's all like white. I'm like, yeah. I've added a couple. So, I mean, do we have any advice for this person?
My advice is you have to give yourself permission to do things that you like.
Yeah.
And once you start doing them again, I think you'll be happy or happier, and it'll become easier to give yourself permission to read or go for a walk by yourself or go out with your girlfriends.
Yeah.
I used to go out with some girlfriends like at least once a month, minimum once a month. We would go out. That's no longer for me, unfortunately. But I'm trying to reestablish other like nice routines like that.
Sure. Like John Green or someone who like says like you're being productive when what you're producing is your own happiness.
Totally.
Yeah. So like she mentions like the books and reading, and reading is time consuming.
It is.
Reading, I get depression, and reading is what really helps it. I found TV makes it way worse, but like relaxing and zoning out with a book like gives me the escapism that like my brain kind of needs, or that like sucked me deeper down the way like I binge a TV show it does. Took a long time to realize that, but like it's something that it really works. But like, yeah, when I start a book and I really like it, like that's a lot of time out of my day. But like when I'm really just feeling like I'm old enough now, like I know like what it feels like. I have to give myself permission to spend that time because it's something that I need.
I mean, you could build it into like a habit. Like, I don't know how old the kids are or if they're in a full day school, but like you could be like, when at nap time I'm going to read, or the first hour after I get them to school, I'm going to do my hobby. It can make me happy. You can like build it into your routine.
Yeah. As like a productivity person, I would say like you want it to be the reward part of your day. Like you get these things done and then you get your reading time. But yeah. Okay. That's I think I have a good transition for the next question, because like my favorite time to read is nighttime.
Yeah.
And I read so much less now with my new, been together 4 years, but like my new partner, because we spend the evenings together. Yeah. So that's my reading time is gone. But like overall, it's way better that like we actually like have this close relationship. We spend time together, which is a good transition to our next question. Lisa and Kait, love tuning in. Gives me some grown up time amidst all the kid noise in my house. My question is something that I don't get to discuss with much with my daily mom circles. My husband and I are in a stage of parenting where we're both constantly exhausted, and honestly, our sex life has taken a serious nosedive. It's not that we don't love each other, it's just that by the time the kids are finally asleep, we're both basically comatose. They're asking, how have we navigated those? Have we had those challenges, and how have we navigated intimacy through exhaustion with young kids?
I mean, I'm going through that right now. What?
Yeah, I kind of are too.
It's hard. One of the things I told my husband is like, I was like, I think we just have to get back to quickies, getting it. I hate to say
That's my advice too.
I was like, you just have to go back to quickies,
Yeah.
They're just, my husband and I have been like, okay, they're distracted with the movie. They're really into it. We can go in the bathroom right now and just literally bang it out.
I actually think that's so hot. No, we're not. We don't do quickies that quick. But I think that's actually so hot.
Well, we have, like trying to get back into quickies. And I said, I don't need what I call marathon sex. I don't need it to last for 4 hours. I said, I just need to get in and get out.
Mm-hmm.
We both just need to come and be done. That's a slogan. Come and be done.
Come and be done. That's kind of my thoughts too. I hate to like overshare against Peter's trust, but our big problem right now, not so much the kids, but more like he's working like he leaves at like just after 5 a.m. and comes home like just in time for dinner at 6. And then like he's the primary one doing the homework because this is in German. Ich spreche nur ein bisschen Deutsch. And he's a lot going on and doesn't need to go on for hours. It can be something short. And like I communicate my needs. I'm really clear, like, hey, like it's almost been a week, like I need this to happen. And like maybe that day it doesn't happen, but then it like he knows, and then it'll happen really soon. Something like that. Like I mean, if you can't communicate your needs with like the person you love most in the world, like that's another intimacy problem. So and then just like don't have the bar so high. Just like it's fine if it's the quickie. Just like but it should, like if I could totally strip like my ex-husband, like, and also like with kids and stuff, like, but there were some times where we like had really, 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 really long times without it, and then it almost becomes like you're putting the pussy on a pedestal, like the 40-year-old virgin. Like, and it becomes like really hard then. Like I like also like that first time after having like a kid, like I'm like, am I broken? Am I like I like those? I had weird feelings about it, and then like
time after is the worst.
Yeah, like but it had been months, and like I was terrified, and I like I like saw my gynecologist. I was like, is everything normal still? I don't know. I feel like it's not. Like, and so I would just like don't put the pussy on a pedestal. Like just like do it. Just do it. Yeah.
I mean, one of the things that Brian and I do now also is I don't know what your comfort level is or the age of your kids or anything. Mine are 9 and 5.5. So for our date nights are consistently kids sleep over at grandma's house.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good one.
Good solid time. And most of our date nights, recently it wasn't, but most of our date nights are us just dropping them off, getting some takeout, going home, watching a movie or something on Netflix. We have our bang time and we go to sleep. And now it's also becoming getting up the next day and going out for breakfast, which I'm not arguing with. That's my favorite part.
Yeah, actually, I think that, if you can have like a regular sleep overnight with grandparents, like where the kids sleep over with the grandparents, you stay home alone with your, that, I think that's a really, really, really good solution to have that special time.
Yeah, because you're not, I mean, it's always nice to go out, but it's just so relaxed and it just feels like you you guys are just back to being you.
Yeah. One thing I heard, it was like sex is a bit like exercise. Sometimes you kind of just it feels like too much effort, but afterwards you never regret it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like
yeah.
And that's like mine. Like sometimes like I think I'd rather just go to sleep, but
yeah,
you never regret it afterwards.
Nope.
Okay. Let me pick another question from our list. Okay, our next question. This kind of gets on the edge of parenting advice, which we cannot say enough. We don't do. I know the feeling where you just want to like, how do people deal with this? I know I'm not the only person with this problem. So you want to talk to other moms. So yeah, I definitely talk about parenting problems with my girlfriends. But okay. Here's my current problem. My kids, ages 4 and 6, which is right in our wheelhouse. We're a little just over that, I guess. Like, have suddenly decided that everything is a competition. Who can get dressed faster? Who can eat their snack quicker? Who can touch the door first? Even who can complain louder? Oof. It's exhausting and turning everything into a battle. So my question is, have you ever gone through a really competitive phase with your kids, and how did you survive it without losing your mind? So any tips for that mentality? It's a tough one.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
I've never had anything to that level. I've had, well, I did this first or I did that. And I just tried really hard. My situation was different, but I just tried to ignore it. And I just kept saying it doesn't matter. It does not matter.
Yeah. I also say, like, when someone is like, I got to the door first, I'm like, okay. I don't make a big deal about it. Like, similar, if my kids are fighting and I didn't see what happened, I will say, that sounds like a sister problem and you two have to work it out. Like, rather than putting myself in the position of like the referee or like the like scorekeeper, in this case with the competition stuff, it's not quite the same thing about competition, but we do something where each kid has like it's their day. I'm doing figure quotes for the listeners. Yeah. So like on the calendars, we have a little like A for Aurora and L for Lavinia on each day, and it's their day. Mm-hmm. And in the beginning, it's like they immediately started like escalating this to like it's their birthday and they should have special things, and it's like no, it's literally every other day. And for everything that's like taking turns, it's always like if it's Aurora's day, it's just like always Aurora's turn. She gets to like if there's 2 cookies and like an adult would think they look exactly the same and not give a shit which one they get. Kids are like, I want that one. Yeah. Like that, if it's her day, she picks first.
Yeah.
And like this started at our old house. We had one bathroom with one sink.
Yeah.
And like we had to wash our hands when we come home, and they would fight over who washes their hands first.
Yeah.
And I couldn't fucking remember like who washed their hands first last time. And that's just hands. Like then again, it's like who picked the snack first last time. Like all these things like that are basically just taking turns. Like it's always your turn when it's your day. And if it's not your day, it's your day tomorrow.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, not quite competition, but like that's similar, like who's getting more and keeping things equal. Like, so it's, yeah. But yeah, I don't have really good advice.
No, I don't. Exactly. That's why we don't give parenting advice.
There was something recently, like everything is a phase, and just like everything is a phase. So if she even calls it a phase, so she knows. Yeah. But I mean, some siblings are just really competitive. I don't have siblings.
They are.
Are you competitive with your siblings?
Yeah, I would say when we were younger, we were definitely competitive. Mm-hmm. But the thing that my mom got is because there's 4 of us, and she had a 9-year-old. At one point, she had a 9-year-old, a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and then a newborn. So by time my sister Tina and I were kind of coming out of the competitive phase. All right, she had 2 that didn't care, but then she had 2 that did. Mm-hmm. So we did, like, we were just kind of off. Like, Tina and I would say we are the closest in age. So, like, we kind of did things, I guess, together. And then the boys, my brothers, did things together. But I think we did.
Did your mom ever kind of pit you against each other? Like, compare you to each other?
Oh, compares?
That's the same thing, Lisa. So it's really close.
She would never she didn't say, well, your sister does this. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like that. It would be like, no, she didn't really compare us. Not like, she didn't do anything like that. No. She wasn't like, well, your sister does this, or my brothers are so much younger, so it didn't matter. It was never mean. She says like, well, Tina does this, or anything like, and not that I remember. Nothing significant.
From the outside, I thought it was a little bit, but I'm an only child, so I really don't have a lot of understanding of that sibling relationship. Yeah. I'm really close to my cousins, but I know that's different. Yeah. Because you don't live together. It kind of sometimes felt like, like she boosted up 2 of you and not so much the other 2 of you.
I mean, she felt that 2 of us, me included, that my brother Paul and I have learning disabilities, nothing major. I just have ADHD. Paul also has ADHD.
It feels like nowadays everyone has ADHD. Yeah. I'm like, do I have it? Everyone has it.
Oh, I know. Paul also had, I'm going to say it wrong, omniscient or obsidian defiance disorder. Okay. And for funsies, he had a touch of obsessive compulsive disorder. So Paul was a ball of fun. Mm-hmm. And I think, we're also talking like 20 plus years ago. Yeah. And this was like new and people were figuring out. My mom felt it was like a disability when that wasn't the case. So she had 2 that had learning disabilities, me and mom, and 2 that didn't. Mm-hmm. So I guess because of the stigma years ago, like the 20 plus years ago that this was, when this was first coming out. It was like all different. So she thought, well, they can't, like that was her mentality. And love you, Mom, but like there are times today, I think if I just had the proper motivation, I could be in a different place in life, career-wise. Mm-hmm. The same with Paul. I don't know if Paul feels like that, but I think if Paul had the proper like motivation, Because as far as careers, Paul and I feel have been like a little bit like lost souls trying to figure it out. Because
From the outside, as your, just a childhood friend, like,
yeah.
I did feel like your mother was putting her eggs in 2 of those baskets.
Yeah, Tina and Joe.
And
I mean, Joe paid off. He went the
Joe,
furthest.
so that bet paid off.
No, the fourth
Those eggs made it the farthest.
yeah. The fourth one, she was like, I know what I'm doing now.
I just my dad is one of 7, and the youngest is the most successful. And like I love Stephen Colbert, like, and he's the youngest of like 9. Like, so there's something special about that last one.
Yeah.
I mean, like, the reason I was kind of like asking, like, is like that competition thing, like, like, it's not like she's pitting them against, like, Smother, like, she's not pitting them against each other. So
yeah,
I think we'll worry too much about. Yeah. Okay. Go on to another question.
Sure.
Hey, Lisa and Kait, love the podcast. It's such a nice escape. You feel like friends. Thank you. That's exactly what we are trying to do. So my problem is a personal one, and I'm sure other busy moms can relate to. I feel like my brain has completely turned to mush. I used to be pretty organized and on top of things, but now I walk into rooms and forget while I'm there. I can't remember the name of that actress in the movie. Like, my to-do list just keeps growing because I forget to actually do the things on it. So have you ever felt like your brain is just downshifted since becoming a mom? Like, what do you do besides just drink lots of coffee? That sounds like you're not sleeping enough. Yeah, that sounds like sleep deprivation, which is a mom thing, especially that the breastfeeding year, or like if you have a kid with nightmares, or if you have an older kid that still sleeps with you. That's sleep deprivation. That's like exactly what she's describing.
Yeah, but just the last one. They put the pussy on the pedestal. Now they have to put their sleep on the pedestal.
Yeah, but they're still not to put the pussy on the pedestal.
Not to put
like, not yet.
But like, I mean, even I knew a mom once, and this mom, like, she was super moms, like fit as a fiddle, and she was up every day at like 5 a.m. to go for like 8-mile runs, like. And I asked her once, I was like, oh my God, I was like, how are you doing this? And she's like, oh, once a week I go to bed at 8 o'clock. My husband knows. I think it was like Wednesdays. She's like, he knows that on Wednesdays I go to bed at 8 o'clock to catch up on all my sleep. And I was like, that is genius.
Yeah. Since meeting my partner, he is like super self-disciplined. It's like probably the most defining characteristic about him.
Yeah.
And he goes to bed very consistently, like 9:45, 10 o'clock, like lights are out. And it was, like I said, he's out the door at like 5. But it's been so good for me. Because like I used to stay up all night reading, like I mentioned with the book question. Like, yeah, getting sleep, it makes so much difference. Some of it, like, also, like, there's like the mom aspect of like just like how much fucking stuff we keep in our heads.
Oh my God.
I remember once trying to make plans, like I was gonna meet my friend at this like activity happening. And it was like, okay, like mine finishes school at this time, you're finishing school at this time. Okay, let's meet at this time. And then it's like, oh wait, but like my other kid is finishing daycare, so I have to have the car because I have to bring him. Okay, then we'll meet at this time. Oh wait, no, we forgot what time. Our kids finish school at different times. So wait, we like forget. By the time we've gotten through all the little things, we've forgotten the first one, and now we have to like redo it.
Yeah,
so much stuff like that, like just like that. The logistics are like really of just day-to-day life.
I handle all the logistics in my house.
And most women do.
And he's very competent, but like, yeah, everything stays in my brain. My brain is the master calendar for my family, and I dump it into my Google Calendar, and I try my best to remember to add my husband every time I add an event for the family, that I invite him to it. But there are things like my work calendar for real estate that it's a separate calendar. However, like, he doesn't get added to everything I have on there.
Could you give him access to it? Like read-only access? So with Google Calendar, that would be my advice, actually. My advice would be to get some of the stuff that you can out of your head. Yeah. Like dates, for example, you need a calendar. My partner doesn't use Google Calendar, and we have the paper calendar, and we like touch base about it. It takes a little extra effort. Yeah. With my ex, we both use Google Calendar, and we had a shared calendar. Okay. It was Nostra, which literally just means hours. Yeah. And anything that affected both of us didn't go into my Caitlin Hanrahan calendar. It went into Nostra, our shared calendar. So any doctor's appointment, like anything important, like it. So I don't have to invite him. So you have an extra step that you inviting him to events.
Yeah.
If you're in Google Calendar specifically, you can you can have multiple calendars.
Yeah.
Like you probably have like your regular Lisa one, and then you have like your real estate one.
Yep.
I have like freaking 100, but like having a shared one where you just like every doctor's appointment goes into that shared one, and you like have it in your calendar. I would say it's a really like little tip you can give. You know, she mentioned her to-do list. It's kind of my area of expertise.
Yes, it is.
But I'd say like you do not want to keep your task list in your head. You do not want to go to bed repeating that list over and over in your head because you're scared you're going to forget it.
Yeah.
You need it out of your head and into a planner. Of course, I would recommend my own. Yeah. So my website is simply.digital, and I have a planner app and planner printable.
Yep.
And if you're at this stage, I'd probably recommend printable. I think that when you're really just your head's all over the place, paper can be really good. I think paper has the edge there.
And you have the satisfaction of crossing stuff out.
Yeah. And it's just like, yeah, it's just very there. It's very physical. Yep. So yeah, I was in this situation, I would lean more towards paper. As someone who like literally sells both of them, so I'd be happy to recommend. It's not like I have paper planner, she uses a paper planner. Like I have both, but I would say like I have used both my things, and I mean in other ones too for research. And paper is really satisfying. I think a really good thing is like when you finish a day, is you need one of those big effing planners that has like a page for a day, not just like a week. Like not just like where you have like a little tiny box for each day. You need like the whole freaking thing. And when you have everything on that day has either been taken care of or been copied over to like either tomorrow or next week or whenever it's because it didn't happen today, and then you got it too, but it didn't. Then you like know everything on the day is done. You close that day. Like maybe you like just like put a highlight across the day or put a big check mark on it or in the corner, so you know like I closed this day. Everything was either done or it's been copied over to another time. Yep. And yeah, you as much as you can get this stuff out of your head. Our kids have really weird school schedules. Like they literally finish school at a different time, like basically every day of the week. And like that schedule has been like, actually my partner made it really pretty in Excel, and like that's printed and it's like on the wall, but where we have breakfast, and like it's right there when we're like, you know, and I can look at it when I'm like making a play day plan. I can be like, okay, your kid finishes school like at lunchtime on Tuesday. Mine finishes at 3:00 on Tuesday. Like, okay, like let's be on Wednesday, like, or just like that general thing, like as much as you can get it out of your head, and then get some sleep.
Totally.
Yeah. Actually, like I said, having things out of your head might even help you sleep. You really don't want to be like using your brain power with your to-do list cycling in your head. Like, oh, I can't forget that. I can't forget that.
And there's I've seen some great tips on Instagram from different people about how to get good sleep and like how to get, and so look at those tips. Write everything down in your Simply Digital planner.
Thank you, Lisa.
You're welcome. And then like go through some of those sleep tips, like the sleepy. I've never tried it, so I cannot yay or nay it. But I've seen the Sleepy Girl mocktail, and I've seen like don't watch TV or look at your phone an hour before bed. Read instead. You know, like things.
Yeah. Problem is, so many of them are just like the same thing, same advice, like for like losing weight. It's like, yeah, I know I should do that, but I'm not going to.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to not look at my phone the hour before bed. That's the only freaking hour in the day I have to look at my phone. Like,
I know.
I'm not going to give it up.
I saw one that was like, don't look at your phone or any screens like 3 hours.
Then when am I supposed to get that like Instagram scroll time if it's not at bedtime? That's it. That's what that is.
I'm a side sleeper, so I've been on my slide with my wrist like this, and all of a sudden I feel my wrist go.
I especially reading, I've hit myself in the face with my phone so many times. Especially like reading and you're dozing. It's like, or I used to play a video game a real lot. It was like my personality for a while. I was getting carpal tunnel from holding the phone. Yeah, and now I like do a little exercise sometimes because I feel it coming back. But or like that. It's a very like, this is not like holding a phone. It's not such a natural.
Yeah, this is not.
Yeah. And it can do for hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. But a lot of devices like no screens, but also like lower lights. Like
Yeah.
My office, like I can change the lights to cool and warm. So like in the office, I like it really cool. Like that's like wake up energy light. And in the evening, I'm like, turn all the lights down. Like actually Peter says like, it can't be this dark because I'm going to fall asleep. And I'm like, okay, a little bit, like dimmer it back up a little bit, but it's warm lighting. It's really soft.
Yeah.
And also that like, yeah, in the evening we have our time. So actually like I'm not spending so much time on my phone at night because that's our him and me time.
Yeah.
And like if I start scrolling Instagram, like he will be like, "Can you please turn that off?" Not that I'm allowed to have it, but like the noise. He's like, "That's really irritating." And I'll be like,
I get yelled at all the time if I put the sound on my Instagram and I'm trying to scroll it. He's very,
"Yeah, to be fair, like
yeah,
so."
he's particular about some things.
Right? Like Peter's like, I basically don't Instagram in bed because like I'm not allowed to. I mean, I guess I could get headphones, but like it's like that one extra step makes it like, okay, I'm not going to do it now. So
Yeah.
okay, here's a question. It's kind of like a fun one. What's a small, seemingly insignificant thing your kids do that drives you bonkers? I'm gonna give like a silly one because like I don't want to like actually badmouth my kids publicly. My youngest chews her clothes.
Oh,
Yeah, and like sometimes I'll like her sweater will be laying on the couch. I'll pick it up and I'll be like, ugh, it's wet.
oh,
Ugh. And like she's like, well, she'll just always like I cover her shirt.
oh, okay.
You know, I think a lot of kids do it. Or like she just like have her sleeve.
Okay.
You know, then I pick up. I'm like, why is your sleeve wet?
Yeah.
And it's just like, can you stop that?
Yeah. Let's see. Hanny still comes in my bed every night consistently. That makes me nuts. I can put her to bed, in the bed. She said she needed a nightlight. I had one of those Himalayan salt lamps that lights up.
Fancy.
Gave it to her. It's in her room now. Here's your nightlight. She's still in my bed. So that drives me nuts. I just bought, and they arrived yesterday. The zipper sheets. I'm very over excited about them. So they're in.
I want to hear about the zipper. Have you tried them yet?
I washed them first, so
Right, naturally, yeah.
they're in the. Also, because when I took it out of the packaging, like I was like I'm taking it out, and I thought they were just gonna come out, but it came out so wrinkled. And I was like, I'm standing at the washing machine ready to wash them, but I'm
You think
like,
they're been
even if
returned?
like I don't know, and I'm just like, even if I wasn't gonna wash them, you know, whatever, to each their own. I was like, they definitely need it because
They're so wrinkly.
But they're in the dryer right now. So after this, I'm gonna run up and put them on. And I was like, I said, I'm zipping you into your bed.
Yeah, so I think Lisa's mentioned this. I think, actually, I'm not sure if it was on just a call between us or it was on a podcast, but she had these, like, we're talking about making beds for bunk beds and how it's so impossible, annoyingly difficult. And you have found these, like, zipper sheets. And so you order them. And listeners, you have to subscribe and tune in next month to hear about how these zipper sheets like help for bunk beds.
The comforter zips to the fitted sheet. So it's really all to make the bed. All you gotta do is just bring the comforter up, and it looks made. It looks perfect.
Yeah,
And I told Hannah I'm gonna zip her into her bed.
I'm glad she's excited about it.
I mean, she'll. Well, I'm sure it's not like she can't get out. She'll be able to get out, but like, I'm just like, you cannot continuously be the cock block between your father.
Peter's really good at helping with like the weekend house tasks, like because during the week he does homework. That's a really big one. But and like the cheat sheets for us is a weekend task. So lots of times he's doing it. And we moved to this apartment like adding a lot of background here. Sorry, everybody. We moved to this apartment specifically so like our two kids right now share a room, but eventually we would give them their own rooms. And like Peter's like, and they're not going to have bunk beds. And I'm like, well, maybe they want a loft like for extra space. And he's like, no. It's like, no, we're done with that whole making the bunk beds things. Okay, so when they're big enough to make their own beds, they can loft their beds if they want.
Yeah.
That's pretty much where we landed. I was kind of thinking, because actually we were just in furniture shopping, and they have like, it's almost like half lofted. Like you couldn't have a desk under there, but you can have like a little play area, and like it's like at your boob waist level, like ish.
Okay.
So like it's still like you still need a little rail thing, like you still need a little ladder, but you could make it without it being like up on it. That's
Right now, I'm at, like, if you stick your hands in the air and put your wrists, like, flat, that is the level of Abby
wow,
for
that's
me to touch her.
I didn't realize your ceilings were that high. Oh,
Yeah.
very nice. But yeah, ours are. And I'm standing. My eyes, there's little like the railing, like has.
Yeah.
I look through the railing. That's like where I am, basically. So it's at my eye level, basically the mattress. But like, I have to get up there to make it. I have to be like up in the bed. And like
I have to take the mattress out of the bunk bed to get the fitted sheet on and put it in bed.
Yeah. So ours is a little extra complicated.
Yeah.
Because when I moved from Italy to Switzerland, there was a lot of like, what can I take? Like, what is not mine? What like, and like one of the last things that was like, okay, I'm going to take this because like I don't think because like, are you keeping the house or not? Like, what are you doing with the house when I leave? And I ended up taking our mattresses, the regular single mattresses. I thought this was pretty universal. It maybe not between like the U.S. and Europe. I really thought they were the same size to Italy and Switzerland that like share a border. Got here and I was like, they're much smaller. There's like a gap, like the size of my like face on the sides and also a little bit on the bottom. So we actually like made like an extra cushion to go on the side. That's like, actually like my mother-in-law. We're not married, but like my mother-in-law used like a pool noodle and added like beanbag filling.
Oh.
And made this long pillow to like fill in the gap because like I didn't want to spend a couple $100 on new mattresses, especially right then. Yeah. Also, right now, don't want to do it. I remember people be like, eventually, we need to change those mattresses. And I'm like, easy for you to say. Like, you have more disposable income than I do.
Yeah. Hannah's up next for a new mattress in our house. If somebody said, oh, you have to go mattress shopping, like, well, we're going for Hannah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Maybe that's why she's not sleeping in her bed. We're also getting all new appliances, possibly in the kitchen, which is going to be a chunk of money.
Well, yeah. We were able to use moving to get rid of a lot of habits we wanted to get rid of. Like, we'd relied heavily on television for meals, especially like my younger one was underweight. Yeah. Like, and like this is what you'd want to do for a child who was like a normal weight. Definitely not for one who was overweight, but for an underweight child, like we like had her zone around on TV, and like we would, as a baby, like keep getting more and more food down into her, because she was underweight. Yeah. And then like once TV is like part of mealtimes, it's part of mealtimes. Yeah. So like moving, we were able to like kind of get rid of that. Yeah. I put more emphasis on like, this is your bed, this is mine, Peter's bed, and that really, we really had a big breakthrough in terms of them coming in the night when we moved.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I don't know. Abby's pretty good. Abby, the only time she typically comes in is if she's sick, which I understand. I totally understand. Like the other night, she came in our bed, and my husband's like, "Why the hell is she here?" Because it's four of us in the bed. No, and we felt her. And we're like, "Oh, she's a fever. That's why she's."
Yeah.
But then it's four of us in a king size bed, and that's why we got the king size bed. Because it was literally from when Brian has a picture. I won't share it, but I'll tell about it. It was my first night home from the hospital after having Hannah. And in the photo, Brian's laying in bed with Hannah on his chest, Abby next to him, and me completely zonked out.
Who took the picture?
He did. He took a selfie.
Just like a selfie?
Like he did it. He actually did it when Abby came home from the hospital too, because I did like I forget what it's called, but it's like a little bassinet that you lay in the bed with. Versus having a physical bassinet, because I knew I was gonna be lazy and like I didn't want to get out of bed. So
I did the same thing. Had the kid in
Hannah had her own bassinet, but because
I kind of had both. I kind of like I was doing all the things, trying everything.
he had a picture of me, again, completely zonked out, Abby in her little bassinet thing, and Peekaboo, our dog, laying, and he was like, where am I supposed to go? And then Hannah comes home, and now we're all 4 of us in the bed. And this, so yeah. I'll just share that with you. I'll share that with you. I won't share it with the world.
Yeah. Yeah, the sleep is it's a tough thing. We tried to had a couple, I've had like 2 sleepovers, like, or 4, I guess, like one hosting, one reciprocating, and back and forth. And the kids are younger, but they were totally fine because they're used to sleeping in their own beds. The other one, the girl is between the age of my 2 and older than both of the 2 little ones that had no problem, but she couldn't stay. Luckily, these are neighbors, so it's like, you know, not like a big deal to like be like, okay, like we can pull the plug on this. Like, you want to go home, like, because she sleeps with her mommy. So if you are sleeping, the sleepover becomes a lot harder when you're used to having mommy next to you.
Here's the thing. For Hannah, like when she was at my in-laws, my mother-in-law was like, yeah, she went to sleep in her bed fine, and she stayed there.
Well, it's good that she's able to do that.
She do it for me.
I have the exact opposite problem where it's like my kids leave to go to Italy with my ex and my in-laws, and it's like, wait, what's the sleeping situation? Wait, what? And like they're all sleeping together, and I'm like, you know, like, she's 9. Yeah. You don't need to sleep with her. She doesn't sleep, like, it's weird. Now it's weird. Like, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. 9-year-olds. Oh my God.
I know. And we're talking about this summer, and she's like, and then this is after the summer, I'll be a 4th grader. And I was like, 4th grader? Gosh. And, you know, we were still in Italy. The grades were just like 1 older.
Yeah.
For like the age, like, so like she would be a 4th grader now. If we were still in Italy, and like on her way to becoming a 5th grader, like. But no, so I still got 1 year back. But like, she's gonna be a 4th grader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's. I can't. I can't.
Okay, speaking of my daughter, I'll ask a question for advice. It's becoming apparent that Aurora is just as shy as I was as a kid. I know no one believes it knowing me now.
Yeah.
But if you knew me as long as Lisa knows, like, I was debilitatingly shy.
Yeah.
As a kid. Like, and adults were always trying to help me and like help me like have that, like, basically have the breakthroughs that I did eventually have about how like anyone who would be mean to me, like, that is a person whose opinion does not matter. Like, oh, I don't need to respect their opinion, because like anyone who would just be mean to someone for no good reason, like, that's a person who does not matter at all. Like, that took me until adulthood to like have that realization, to like not worry about someone being mean to me.
Yeah.
And I think lots of times, like, I do still feel really strongly like I don't ever want to be in a place where I'm not wanted.
Yeah.
I still feel that way really strongly now. But I think as a kid, like, I just assumed I was unwanted, and like that I was really imposing on people with my presence.
Yeah.
And like, it took me a long time to realize, like, no, generally it's more the merrier. Most people are happy to have, like, it's more fun with more people. And like, maybe they don't want to be your friend, but like, probably they do. And like, probably the more they know you, they do.
Yeah.
And like, the more you pull yourself away, it looks like that you don't like them. And then people that think you don't like them, then they start to not like you.
Yeah.
And so like, and I had a roommate who was very much like that. She, like, in university, like, she just was convinced everyone disliked her and started treating people like they disliked her. Yeah. And so like all my friends started being like, your roommate has a stick up her butt. I do not want to be around her. And I'm like, I would try to explain it, because obviously we were friends, we were roommates by choice, but like, she thinks you don't like her. So she has a stick up her butt around you. And it's like,
yeah.
But yeah, anyway, I've had all these realizations later in life. So like now I know I'm pretty outgoing, pretty confident. Yeah. It's hard to even, like, I think when I say I was shy as a kid, it's like when a celebrity says they were a dork in high school, you're like, yeah, you are, sure. You don't even know what a dork is. Like, but like, I really was so shy. Like, I'd rather like spend recess with the teacher than outside with kids. Like, I was, like, and Aurora has that. And I don't know how to help her. I'm like, I've tried to. And I remember adults trying to help me, and it was just like, No. I remember my head being like, no, can't do that. Can't do that. No, that's not how it works. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
And like, I see the same thing in her.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess just keep telling her. And like, I mean, I don't have that issue with Abby. Abby is not me, and I'm so happy she's not me. But like here, they have a lot of clubs. And I'm always like, hey, Abs, do you want to do this club? Do you want to do that club? I mean, unfortunately, our school district is so big that it's like you cannot get into every club. And they make that known, like, you will be chosen. And she wasn't chosen. Well, she was chosen for only one club. And I think it's because, like, most people were like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
She was like, I want to do it. So she got into that one. So that's, I don't know.
I wish we had more clubs.
Yeah. I think that helped.
Yeah, clubs helped me too, because like it was that like structured environment.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like next week she has the 3rd grade dance that we're going to.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
Wow.
So
Great dance. I don't remember dances before middle school.
no, I don't either. But it's a fundraiser for the PTO. So I don't.
Is it called PTO or PTA?
PTO.
Oh. I think PTO means paid time off.
Yeah, no, this is parent teacher organization.
Yeah, I figured that out. I made the leap.
So, but at the school I work at, it's referred to as the PTO. I think Brian's school he works at, it's the PTO. Their girls, it's a PTO.
You know, people ask me things like really specific things like that about America, and I'm like, I don't know. I left like 15 years ago. I had no idea.
Okay, bring their questions.
Bring their questions about America.
I will answer them. What questions do you have about America, European listeners?
Sometimes it's about brands. Like, do you have Kinder in America? And I'm like, I think so.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
We do, and the only reason I know is because my sister-in-law works for that company.
Yeah. But like, is it everywhere? Is it like all in supermarkets? Is readily available? It's not like a niche thing. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I love to tell them like, we didn't have Nutella when I was a kid, and they're like, huh? Like, yeah.
And that's I have a sister-in-law who works for Ferrero Rocher, specifically in the Nutella division. And she was so annoyed about like I don't want to show this. It makes her sound terrible. It was my brother too. They spent a ton of money on this band DJ combination. They were fantastic.
At their wedding.
At their wedding. And she's like, and they're expecting us to tip them too. She's like, I'm forking out a ton of money. So she gave them each a jar of Nutella.
Like, it reminds me of like at Home Alone 2 where he gives gum as tips.
Yeah. That's basically what they did. It's big.
Yeah. I mean, when I was planning a wedding, I like went all in. It was like my personality. And I read books, and it was basically, I believe the official etiquette. Oh, actually, this is something I wrote about. Wait. I'm pinning a question. Is that you don't tip business owners? And I would say a band is kind of on the line there, but like basically like their price is their price. But like when you're catering staff, you don't give the owner a tip, but you would tip their staff.
Yeah. That makes sense.
But tipping has changed completely. And I actually don't know the etiquette anymore, because nowadays, like, you could freaking like buy a candy bar at like a deli counter and they turn the screen around and ask for a tip.
I never do. Oh yeah. When the place my husband and I get our bagels, they're always like, do you want to leave a tip? And I'm like, nope.
No.
Like there was like maybe one time where there was some type of issue, and I know that I watched them like really try to fix it, and fixed it, and I was like, okay, I'll give it to you.
Yeah, someone goes above and beyond. A tip
went above and beyond.
Yeah, I would say that's a totally different thing. A tip for someone going above and beyond, and the tip that's like that standard, expected thing, like at a restaurant, in America.
Yeah,
not tipping is like not paying your full bill. It's like
and the hairdresser, the nail salon.
Yeah,
I was really shocked where like the one time I took Peekaboo to the groomer. I'm sorry, I'm thinking did I bring you to a different groomer recently? I think I did. I don't remember where it was. Great. Oh, I did. I love you, Peekaboo. I love you. She's right there.
Yeah.
I was bringing her to a small business for the groomer, and like a very small business. And they're like, "Do you want to leave a tip?" And I'm like, "I didn't know I tipped the fucking groomer." And I'm like, "Oh yeah." And I'm trying. They're like, "Oh, let me go get you something." I think they're getting Peekaboo, but they were bringing. And I'm like, "Do I tip the groomer? And how much do I tip the groomer?" And I fucking didn't know. I knew the new place I took her to, they did not ask for a tip because it's a bigger business.
Yeah, that is tricky. Like, so on one hand, like there's that wedding etiquette, like where it's the business owner, you don't tip. But like, yeah, I mean, like I feel like if you're going to like, was it like PetSmart? Like I feel like, do you tip them?
I used to bring her to Petco.
Petco, that's what I meant to say. Yeah,
that's the same thing.
Yeah.
I brought her there until there was the thing about them accidentally killing dogs in their dryers, and then that stopped.
Wow.
Yeah. Because they were heated dryers and just leave the dogs in there and they like dehydrate and like overheat to death. So yeah, and so once that came out, we stopped. We went to that small business where they are asking for tips, and then now we go to. It's a chain, but I still really like them. It's a doggy daycare / groomer / boarding facility.
Yeah.
So like. They did not ask for a tip.
Like,
I was pretty impressed. Her groom was only $50, and at the small business, I was like 80.
Yeah, I kind of actually, honestly, even at the hairdresser, like I know that is something you tip in, but like these are just transactional purchases.
Oh, I know.
So the tipping culture,
I don't.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get slammed for this, but I don't like it.
I don't like it either. I think like it doesn't. Who does it benefit? Like,
oh yeah, I know. Like you.
Does it benefit the business owner who gets to like show a lower price, but actually like pressure you into paying more?
I know that you said, because I remember we had this discussion like a long time ago, and you said that they don't. And I don't know if it was just Italy specific or Europe.
We were on vacation in Paris, and we were really told like the prices are going to be this, but you'll have service fee, but there's no tip. That the service fee is the tip. But then they were using those basically American like. Screen, like where there's the big buttons, and like they like stand there and watch you do it, which is a little bit more French, but I think it's quite. I don't know if that's a bit French, but
this was for. And I remember I said like I hate the tipping culture. I wish they would just pay people what they should be paid, so I don't have to compensate for it. And you said, but then like I think it was in Italy, like then you're like it's just their service. You're not going to always have your water refilled. They're not going to come and check on you.
Yeah, I have literally like had food go cold because like I can't really eat if I don't have water.
Yeah.
And like waiting for the waiter to come and like give me some water. Even like, and you pay for the water too, but like they don't care. Also, Italy, the service is a little more different because everyone pretty much is eating at 8 p.m. So the restaurants are not expecting to get 2 seats out of that table each meal. They're just expecting the one seating basically. There might be some like a person who comes right at 8 and a group that comes right at 8 and a group that comes like at 10 p.m. Like there might be a couple tables that get 2 seatings, but generally they're not expecting a second seating. So like there's no incentive to rush you, which they consider a positive thing. Like it'd be rude for them to rush you. But like if you want quick service, it's not going to happen. Yeah, definitely. The water is definitely true. Like that's a big thing I think for American services. Like they know like keeping on top of your water is like it's one of the things that's like everyone knows is their job. Like if the food's bad, it's like, oh, but it's not his fault. Yeah. If like even if the order's messed up, you don't know whose fault it is. But like if you're not filling your water, it's like that's you. That's your job. Yeah. Yeah. You're not doing your job.
Oh, there was one time where like our order was just horrifically messed up and it was totally the waiter's fault. And we knew it was the waiter's fault because he came to our table and we were at a table of 6 people. It was we went out with 2 other couples, so it's 6 people. Mm-hmm. That's a generally large group.
Yeah.
And disclaimer, I have never.
I think like lots of places after 8 they like mandatory the tip. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I've never been a waitress. I've never worked in the food service industry, so like I don't know, but I kind of had a vibe here. He comes, he takes our orders. He is the waiter that is doing it from memory, which I've always very impressed with,
but skeptical of.
Yeah, especially because we're a large group. It's not like it's just my husband and I where, you're going to remember, like, he wants this and I want that. You know that in. we're waiting and waiting and waiting. And he kind of moseys back to us and he's like, "Peg, I forgot what your order was. So can you please tell me?"
All of you.
Yeah, all of us. We have to reorder. Puts it in. We get our food. This was like a southern type of restaurant. So we're getting like fried chicken and grits and like all those types of things. My husband orders a fried chicken, and he cuts into it. It is Romaines paste.
That's not that's the chef.
So then she was pissed. It got sent back. Thankfully that night, his food and my food were comped, so we ate for free. And like, I could tell he was pissed, and I got chicken and waffles. And I was like, just take my chicken. Just take my chicken. I don't care if I don't have it. I'm a breakfast girly. I'll just eat the waffle. I'll be happy with the waffle. It's fine. And he was pissed. So our food was comped. And we told him, like, the waiter forgot our order. Like, we've been sitting here a long time. Because he came and he told us he forgot her. He forgot to put it in. He forgot what it was. And then we got raw chicken.
But I mean, the raw chicken's not the waiter's fault. So there's some issues.
Oh yeah, no, this is a whole but yeah, this was a series of events. Unfortunately, they are no longer there.
Shocker.
Well, they have a Bethlehem. Sorry, they had an Easton location, and they had I think it was Allentown location. I think it was Allentown. The Allentown location is still there, but the Easton location had the really cool ambiance where the Allentown location does not. But
yeah. Well, Lisa, we've been talking for an hour, so I am gonna
sorry
because since it is literally the second to last day of the month, and I want to edit this like today, and
that's my fault
to get in March. No, it's really my fault because all month we've had you guys. America changes their clocks before most of Europe. And all month, like, Lisa's been like, "Hey, where are you?" And I'm like, "Oh, what? Like, it's 12:30. I'm eating lunch." And like, I just like could not remember that like we were, and we had a disconnect like all month. I think with the time difference was the big problem. Yeah, but yeah. So thank all of you so much for listening, and extra thanks to our listeners who wrote in with questions. I hope you had as much fun as we did getting in some like girl time, some girl talk, grown up time. Subscribe to catch us again next month, and for the exciting conclusion of How Are Lisa's Zipper Sheets.
Yeah.
And this is a monthly podcast because that's what we can handle. So don't worry about us like clogging up your feeds because it's not coming out all the time. But if you do want more, check out our past episodes because we've been doing this for over a year now. So we have lots of past episodes. If you want to reach out with us with questions, comments, anything at all, you can email us at hello@MediocreMomsCo.com. We'd love to hear from you. It's also our website, MediocreMomsCo.com. That's where you can find links to all of our past episodes, social media accounts, everything. It's MediocreMomsCo.com. That's also our handle on TikTok and Instagram. So again, thank you so much for joining in. And I guess we'll see you next month.
Bye.
Bye.